Durban motorists using the N3 between the Westville and Paradise Valley interchange should brace themselves for long delays. SANRAL will soon begin upgrades that are set to be completed over the period of at least 4 years. Now, some of the areas that will be affected include Westville, Pinetown, Hillcrest, as well as the Pavilion Mall. But for more on this 4.7 billion rand roadwork, we understand, I'm joined by SANRAL's Eastern Region Design and Construction Manager, Ravi Ronny, joins me this morning. Ravi, thank you so much for your time and a very warm good morning to you. Well, it seems like it might be a bit of an inconvenience for motorists, but long-term gains to benefit here in terms of these upgrades. Take us through what exactly they entail.
Thank you. Good morning, Tumela, and good morning to your viewers. So, so the package you mentioned, Westville to Paradise Valley, is actually one package of the larger N3 upgrade project we have between Durban and Pietermaritzburg. It's about 88 kilometers. There's 15 packages on it, and currently there's 9 packages under construction. And the specific one, Westville to Paradise Valley, as you've shared with the viewers, is about 6 kilometers of the N3. We'll be upgrading from the current 4 lanes to approximately 6 lanes per direction. It includes major upgrade to 2 interchanges on that section, which is the Westville Interchange, Paradise Valley Interchange, and a few overpasses that cross over the N3. And then together with the M13, there's about 1.5 kilometers of upgrade of the M13 that ties into the N3 main line, and then some of the local road network. And the upgrade, Tumelo, is in line with capacity improvements we've been seeing over the number of years. You know, with the increase in commuter traffic, the increase with the heavy vehicle volume. So the N3 from Durban to Gauteng is the busiest freight route currently in the country, over 75 million tons of freight per annum carried. So it has been taking strain. And we've been planning these upgrades for the last number of years, and it's really now since 2020 where we've commenced on some sections towards Pietermaritzburg, and obviously now heading down towards the Durban section.
Yeah. So when I said my link in the beginning, Ravi, I made mention of the delays that could last up until 4 years. For someone that uses that road quite regularly, might be taken aback to say, oof, 4 years is quite some time. Do you have alternative routes? Do you have some, routes and roads that will be made available? I mean, even when you look at the picture of the highway, for instance, on the N3, how many lanes approximately will be open? Just perhaps share with us what it's looking like in terms of doing your upgrades, but also accommodating motorists as well.
Yes, no problem. And I suppose that's a challenge currently. So that section, currently we have over 120,000 vehicles a day. So between Paradise Valley, Pinetown coming into Durban. So, we're like doubling up the current volumes from the N3, from the Pietermaritzburg side coming towards Durban. So with those current volumes and the restricted space we have with development, on both sides of the N3, it does make it a challenge in terms of the constructability. So currently, as I indicated, there's 4 lanes per direction, and the intention is to at least remove one of that lane, so we'll have at least 3 lanes per direction, and that will then allow us and create some space in terms of the construction vehicles gaining access to specific areas and so forth. So the intention will be to close off at least 1 lane, and that will be throughout the 4-year duration during the different phases of the actual construction over that section. And then with the interchanges, again, the ramps will at least have 1 lane open on each of the ramps, and that will similarly apply then to each of the local road network and the M13. When it comes to alternative road network, and obviously as part of the traffic management plan that we've developed for this entire corridor between Durban and Pietermaritzburg, the intention is, as you've indicated, twofold. One is during the construction, so we'll reduce the lane widths, and as I've indicated on this specific package, is that we'll reduce a lane. So no doubt that will have an impact on the traffic flow because of the volumes we have there currently. And then the intention is we've gotten to agreements with the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Transport, the eThekwini municipality, in terms of identifying the alternative routes and ensuring prior to us commencing with the N3 mainline work, that these maintenance projects are put out on the alternative routes, so we make sure that these alternative routes are in an acceptable condition so that when the motorist sees that he's being delayed, or there's an incident that causes the closure of a particular section of the freeway, that we then divert the traffic, and then there's an acceptable alternative route to travel on. So on this particular section, I mean, there are various routes. There's the M1, there's the M7, there's the M19, there's the M5. So there are various alternative routes that we've identified where we need to then do some maintenance work, look at some of the intersections, some upgrading, some retiming of traffic signals, and so forth.
Yeah, I want to also touch on some of the enhancements that you will be doing and other activities. Ravi, if you may, I understand major bridge construction works, including the widening of, the Westville and Paradise Valley, as you've also indicated earlier. But any other additions in terms of other activities that will be completed as well?
Yeah, so just an overall summary of the scope of work. So as I've said, so we are upgrading the number of lanes from the current 4 lanes to at least 5 to 6 lanes per direction. The 2 major interchanges there at the Westville interchange, which is close to where the Pavilion Shopping Centre is. And then we also have the Paradise Valley interchange. So the Paradise Valley interchange is a multi-level free-flow interchange, and then we're adding a number of new bridges to that interchange. There's 3 crossings across the N3 in this facility. We'll have to demolish and reconstruct those bridges, and those will do. We'll move traffic completely to the one direction, 2-way traffic. So there will be always 2-way traffic flowing as we do each half of each structure across the N3. And then as you mentioned, the other portion of the structural work is the 2 major viaducts across these valleys. So you got the Westville viaduct just below the Pavilion Shopping Centre. It's in the order of 25 to 30 meters in height. It's close to 400 meters in length. And then the other one is the Paradise Valley viaduct, which is in the Paradise Valley Nature Reserve. Similarly, it's about 30 meters in height, also in the 400 meters in length. And then the intention is to widen these viaducts, close the median, and then create the additional lanes. So yes, major scope of work required in this particular package.
Major scope of work costing approximately 4.7 billion rand. Any expectations that this amount may balloon at any point, or is this the set budget?
So with all our SANRAL construction projects, these are remeasurable contracts. We've appointed consulting engineers that have undertaken the detailed design, put together the schedule of quantities for the work, and obviously come up, with those quantities for our contractors to price. These are remeasurable, but in terms of the detailed design and coming up with those quantities for contractors to price, we're fairly confident, we won't exceed the budget. Obviously, there are other impacts, contract price adjustment, for example, increase in fuel price, increase in material for civil engineering that could impact it, and there are obviously separate provisions made for such things.
All right, Ravi, we leave it then. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And now motorists know what to expect, and understand that, of course, SANRAL would be embarking on quite a major communication drive here to ensure that motorists are aware timeously of these upgrades, but also of the delays that they can, of course, expect during this time. Extensive communication plan to ensure not only that, but also public safety around that time during these major upgrades and works around the road. So the N2, N3 upgrading and various other considerations, I understand, will be considered to reduce travel time in the region over the next 8 to 10 years. We understand. All my thanks to Ravi Ronny for joining me for this discussion.